If you're over 50 and suddenly find yourself having to start over, I want you to hear this. Starting over does not mean you're starting from nothing. Maybe you've lost your job, as many have because of this economy and what's going on in the world today, or maybe you've lost your spouse or went through a divorce. Maybe you've become a caregiver like me. My husband had two massive strokes, and I have become his primary caregiver. Or maybe you've had some health challenges like me. I've had some surgeries over the last couple of years, or maybe family circumstances have changed and you need to work from home. Or maybe you've simply reached a point where you're thinking, I cannot keep doing this. I can't do this for another 10 or 15 years. If that's you, you're exactly who I created Grace and Profit for. Hi, I'm Merriet. I'm a CPA and I'm going through reinvention of my own. And instead of me waiting until I have everything figured out and then coming back to you to tell you what I did, I'm going to take you along with me on this journey. Starting over at 50 is different. It hits different, as the young folks say. Starting over at this stage of life can be scary because we're supposed to seriously have everything figured out by now, right? We're supposed to have established careers. We're supposed to be preparing for retirement, but no one has prepared us for this type of economy and the things that are going on in the world today. So life happens, things change, and suddenly you're asking yourself, what do I do now? But here's what I think we sometimes forget. You're not the same woman you were at 25. You've worked, you've solved problems, you've managed responsibilities, you've dealt with difficult situations, you have learned things, you have survived things. You are a survivor. And some of those things you know how to do so well that you don't even think about it. And then someone else may come along and say, hey, how do you do that? And then you know what? Those are skills that someone would actually be willing to pay you for. So maybe, just maybe, reinventing yourself doesn't mean becoming somebody completely different. Maybe it's figuring out how to use what you already know, but in a different way. That's what I'm doing. That's part of the journey I'm on right now. I'm a CPA and I've had my own accounting and bookkeeping practice before. I had it for 10 years. Then life began to life. Illnesses in my family, illnesses with me, life was lifing. But I'm looking at the business from a different perspective now. I don't want to simply recreate another job for myself. I want a business that gives me more freedom. I want to work from home like I do now. I will not do anything if it is not remote. And I want my business to fit my life instead of my entire life revolving around work. That just doesn't work for me at this age, in this stage of my life. So I'm going to rebuild and reinvent my accounting and bookkeeping practice. And I'm going to let you watch me do it. Not after everything is perfect, but while I'm actually doing it. We're going to talk about figuring out what services to offer, choosing who you want to serve, pricing, finding clients, marketing, technology, systems, all of that. I'll share what works and what doesn't. And I'll probably make some mistakes along the way, but that's the point. Because maybe you're sitting at home right now thinking, I love to work for myself, but where in the world do I even get started? I want Grace and Profit to become an accounting or bookkeeping business because that's what I'm doing. Your skills may be completely different from mine, The point is learning how to look at what you know, what you can offer, and what kind of business could work for the life you want now. You don't need everything figured out. And please don't think you need everything before you start. You don't. You don't need the perfect website. You don't need every piece of software. You don't need to master every social media platform like people will make you think. And you certainly don't need to spend thousands of dollars because somebody online told you that's what it takes to start a business. Start with 3 questions. One, what do I know how to do? Two, who could I help with it? And three, what kind of life do I want this business to help me create? Because I don't want us leaving one exhausting situation just to build ourselves another exhausting situation. We also have to be wise about money. And when you're reinventing yourself, money matters. You may find yourself asking, can I afford this course? Should I pay for this software? Can I afford to invest in starting something new? That's actually part of why I created the Can I Spend It decision system to help make those decisions based on the numbers instead of fear or excitement. I'll leave it below if you need it. But the bigger point is this: you don't have to spend a fortune to begin changing your life. Start small, make wise decisions, learn as you go. Come take the journey with me. And that's really what I wanted to tell you today. If you're over 50 and you're trying to figure out your next chapter, I want you to take this journey with me. Subscribe to Grace and Profit because I'm going to show you what happens as I rebuild my own business, not just the finished product. And come join our Grace and Profit Facebook group. I post on there frequently. There's a group of women, Christian women, that some are business owners, some are striving to be business owners, but there's great information that's being shared. I'll leave that link below as well. You don't need to already have a business. You don't need to know what kind of business you want. You may simply be at the point where you know something has to change. Come introduce yourself and tell us where you are in your journey. I'll put the Facebook group link in the description below, like I said, because being over 50 doesn't mean our opportunities are behind us. We're bringing decades of experience, knowledge, and life lessons to whatever we decide to do next. We're not starting from nothing, we're starting from experience. And maybe it's time to see what can be built with that experience. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.